So if I told you I made 8 grand on 300 miles, you might think I ended up in a dinero o plomo situation. But I would tell you it was Prime Day, and anything's possible. So if you're new here, let me introduce myself. I'm a guy who tries to put himself into situations where I'm able to work smarter, not harder. This might be situations where I can burn less fuel or put less wear and tear on the truck. Anything that allows me to convert more of my gross into my net. And also anything that keeps me close to home, because I have a family that I very much enjoy spending time with. So let me share with you exactly how I did this. Prime Day started on July 16th. And on the 16th, I was reachable on Chime. They were looking for a long-term shuttle hostler at a smaller facility. Now, I love Amazon Chime. I mean, no load boards to watch, no emails to respond to, no waiting for a callback. If you're using Amazon Relay and you're not using Amazon Chime, you're not familiar with it, I've covered it twice before. Once was more of like a little introduction to it, and then the other time I kind of did like more of a deeper dive. Let me show you exactly how I use it to put myself in these favorable positions. Now, those of you who've been with me for a while know that, you know, whenever I sign up for these shifts, night here and night there, my rate, I always charge them $100 an hour. Since we were talking about like more long-term secured work, I was willing to come down to $90 an hour to get that. Some people might be satisfied with just the hostler gig. I mean, 7 days, $7,000, not a lot of fuel, but when I'm in that truck, I'm never satisfied. Normally, tonus piss me off, but at the end of the day, I was tired, didn't have a lot of time, didn't want to drive far. Tonus are what I started searching for. I started looking for loads that had a high probability of getting canceled. I wanted them to be close to where I was getting off work at DSD4, and I also wanted them to pay all right in case they went through. So would I respect it a lot more if I was able to do it 5 out of 5 times? Of course, but 80% isn't bad. And the way I see it is, this is an extra $700 on my week that I got just for paying attention. And let's say you're sitting there wondering, like, what the heck is an Amazon Relay shuttle hostler? I've got you covered there. I've made 2 videos on this. One is definitely like a real basic intro to it. I think it's like 3 minutes, just kind of takes you through the basic ins and outs. And then if you do want to go into like more of a deep dive, I made a 15-minute version of it where I take you from shift start to shift end and just go through everything I've learned from doing these. And just like everything in Amazon Relay, things are always changing. The shuttle hostler gig is no different. I put out a recent video on the changes that they're making to it and what those changes look like for us owner-operators. So my question to you is, did I make the right choice? I found no greater analogy in trucking than a bird in the hand or 2 in the bush. And what I'm getting at is, what would you do if you were in my situation? Would you take the guaranteed payout of the hostler thing, or would you let it ride on the load board? I mean, keep in mind, it was Prime Week. I was seeing loads on there like San Diego, 1 pick, 1 stop to Vegas, $2,600. Otay round trip to Vista, back to Otay, 106 miles, $800 payouts. I have no doubt that if I had run loads during that week, I could have made more money. I'm not gonna lie, during the week of Prime Day, I was having a little bit of buyer's remorse. I mean, I'm looking at these loads sitting there doing the hostler gig, but where I'm confident I made the right decision was I set this shift up for a total of 2 weeks. So my next week, the week that just ended, looks real similar to this one. Now, I know this is gonna raise a lot of questions. How do you get the hostler gig full time? And trust me, this has been a question I've been trying to answer since day one. I don't really have an exact answer for you on this, but I would say just leave a good impression. When I'm there, I'm not trying to outwork my fellow owner-operators. I mean, ideally, you take a move, I take a move, and we just flip-flop back and forth. But you'd be surprised how many people show up to this shift and see it as an opportunity to sleep. If you show up and you work the entire shift like you're supposed to, chances are you'll get a callback. And I'm gonna point out here an area of my life where I realized I'm getting soft at. I should have been happy. Book this for 2 weeks, guaranteed work, guaranteed payout, not a lot of fuel. Should have been all positive. As soon as I did it and I started thinking about it, I started feeling like a little bit depressed. And what I was getting depressed about was I had a schedule for 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, I couldn't do what I want. And it's funny to me that like I'm getting soft over having a schedule, because this is coming from a guy who had a schedule for the last 30 years as an employee. So in wrapping this up, I do want to leave with pointing out the obvious. These are Prime Day numbers. Anybody can fall out of bed and make money during Prime Day. You figure you got about 2 weeks around Prime Day and maybe 2 or 3 weeks around the holidays where you can make really good money. But what are you going to do for the other 11 months out of the year? And that's what I try to showcase on this channel, how to make consistent money using Amazon Relay year-round. If that's something that interests you, welcome to the channel. I will warn you though, I do take a grade-centric approach. So to circle back to the numbers, am I willing to call all this profit? No. I mean, from my yard to DSD4 was 20 miles one way each way. So 40 miles a day, 7 days a week, that's 280 miles. The one load that actually did go through put me at like 300 miles for the week. So let's round up a little bit and call that $200 in fuel. I don't pay my insurance weekly, but I can calculate out what my weekly cost is for insurance, and that would be $220 a week. Same thing with the plates on the truck. If I calculate the weekly cost of that, that's $50. My equipment is paid off, so I don't have a truck note to worry about. Now, do I consider all this money to be profit? Not quite yet. I gotta hang on to some of this for my PBTs, my preventative maintenance, my breakdowns, and my taxes. But a lot of this money is money that I will use to kind of live my life outside of the truck. I hope this video serves you well. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.